Have you ever imagined that the gods we know could be extraterrestrials? Get ready, because what you're about to discover may change everything you know about the universe. Throughout history, ancient civilizations spoke of beings coming from the stars, beings with supernatural powers. But what if these gods were actually visitors from another planet? In this video, we will explore this surprising theory and uncover the mysteries that connect the Oryxas with beings from beyond the Earth. Stories of beings from the stars are nothing new. The idea that ancient civilizations may have had contact with extraterrestrials is present in cultures around the world. From the pyramids of Egypt to the ruins of the Mayan temples, many believe that the technology and knowledge used to build these wonders could have come from outside Earth. But when we look at the Oryxas, this idea becomes even more intriguing. These entities are not just spirits or gods of nature comprehension. If Exu is, in fact, a manifestation of an extraterrestrial or interdimensional being, this would shed new light on African spirituality, not just as a practice of connecting with nature and the elements, but as an open portal to the cosmos. This would explain why Exu is seen as unpredictable and yet profoundly wise. He is the key to understanding the vastness of the universe. Another highlight is that while Exu facilitates communication, Oryxas like Oxum and Yemanja dominate. The big question that arises is, how could civilizations that were separated by vast oceans, mountains, and centuries of development share such similar mythologies and beliefs about divine beings and visitors from the stars? If we look at ancient cultures around the world, from the Egyptians and Sumerians to the African peoples who worship the Oryxas, they all have something in common. A belief in powerful beings who descended from the heavens to influence human destiny. But forces that control human destiny and the energies of the cosmos. One of the most fascinating examples of this theory is Exu, the messenger of the Oryxas. Exu is the entity who acts as the guardian of crossroads, a point of passage between different worlds and dimensions. When we look more closely, it doesn't seem too different from modern descriptions of extraterrestrial beings who travel through space and time, passing through portals or gravitational, known and guarded for millennia. And more importantly, are these entities trying to protect the secret, or are they waiting for the right moment to reveal the truth to us? The true climax of this theory comes when we begin to connect the dots. If Exu is the messenger who travels between dimensions, and Oxum and Yemanja control the water portals, we are talking about a network of spiritual and cosmic communication that connects Earth to other worlds. Imagine that the big question that arises is, how could civilizations that were separated by vast oceans, mountains, and centuries of development share such similar mythologies and beliefs about divine beings and visitors from the stars? If we look at ancient cultures around the world, from the Egyptians and Sumerians to the African peoples who worship the Oryxas, they all have something in common. A belief in powerful beings who descended from the heavens to influence human destiny. But how did distortions? Exu could be a symbol of these interdimensional journeys, which leads us to wonder, did the ancients know something that we are only now beginning to understand? The Oryxas, like Exu, are not limited to the physical world. They interact with the elements of nature, earth, water, fire, air, and with the vital energy that connects all living beings. This resembles concepts of cosmic energy and universal vibrations, frequently discussed in esoteric circles and theories about beings. Why do they keep so many secrets? Why don't they reveal themselves openly? The answer may lie in the very nature of spiritual evolution. Perhaps the Oryxas are testing us, preparing us for a moment when humanity will be ready to accept that we have never been alone in the universe. Perhaps the communication we have with the Oryxas is just the beginning of a much larger connection that will only be revealed when we are spiritually and technologically advanced enough to understand it. These cultures, who supposedly had no contact with each other, arrive at such similar conclusions about gods and celestial creatures. In the case of the Oryxas, the similarity to other gods and entities described in different parts of the world is striking. Oryxas like Zango, who controls thunder and fire, or Oxum, who governs freshwater, mirror deities from many other cultures such as Zeus in Greece, who also controlled thunder, or extraterrestrials. Ancient civilizations, such as the Egyptians and Sumerians, described gods who descended from the stars to share knowledge, and this is very similar to the role that the Oryxas play in African spiritual culture. Oxum, for example, the goddess of fresh waters, has a deep connection to the element of water, which in many UFO sightings appears as a means of transportation or even a portal between dimensions. Oryxas are emissaries of an advanced civilization, and their representations as gods and spirits are, in fact, the way ancient civilizations interpreted beings who came from beyond the stars. These beings would have shared knowledge with humans, but indirectly, using spirituality as a tool to guide humanity's development. At this moment, you might be asking yourself if the Oryxas are extraterrestrial or interdimensional. Poseidon, god of the seas. These figures not only govern elements of nature, but are also seen as intermediaries between humans and the higher powers that control the cosmos. If these figures are truly universal, it raises the question, could all these cultures be describing the same entities, just with different names and symbols? This leads us to a fascinating dilemma. If the Oryxas are deeply connected spiritual guides rooted in Yemenja, the queen of the seas, also has a connection with the ocean, which is one of the most mysterious places on the planet. Many conspiracy theories suggest that extraterrestrial civilizations may be hidden in the depths of the ocean or use the seas as entry points to Earth. Yemenja's waters could, in a way, be seen as representations of this mystery, harboring secrets that are still beyond humanity's reach. What we know about our seas is limited, and many cultures believe that the ocean, thus, the real challenge we face is not just unraveling the connection between the Oryxas and extraterrestrials, but also accepting that our understanding of spirituality and the cosmos is just the tip of a cosmic iceberg. If Exu is the guardian of crossroads, and the other Oryxas control the natural portals, we are facing a spiritual network that extends far beyond what we can see or touch. And if we are truly ready for this revelation, the future of humanity may be shaped not only by science, the Earth. Why do their descriptions and attributes mirror so closely what we find in other civilizations, which also speak of divine beings that came from the sky? This raises the possibility that perhaps these gods are not merely myths or symbols created by man to explain nature. What if, in reality, they are ancient descriptions of extraterrestrial beings who visited Earth, bringing knowledge and guidance to various cultures over time? Holds portals Uardian of these cosmic portals. Additionally, the way the Oryxas interact with humans is another point to consider. In many African religious traditions, it is believed that the Oryxas can possess their followers during ceremonies, which is similar to accounts of alien abductions or channeling, where beings from other planets take control of the human body to transmit messages. Could these spiritual possessions be a form of interdimensional and technology? But in the end, perhaps the biggest question is, what do we really know about the universe around us? Were the ancient myths just metaphors? Or are they historical records of real encounters with beings from other planets? If the Oryxas are, in fact, extraterrestrial guides, this would change the way we understand spirituality and our own origin. This theory is not easy to accept. Many scientists and historians will say that these similarities are cultural coincidences or the result of universal psychological archetypes. However, there is a gap in knowledge that remains. How do we explain the precision of some of these legends? For example, the Dogon tribe in West Africa has profound knowledge of the star Sirius B, a white dwarf star that cannot be seen with the naked eye, and yet they knew of its existence thousands of years ago. Communication with beings from other realities? If we accept this hypothesis, then religious practices involving the Oryxos could be an ancient form of extraterrestrial contact. Another fascinating aspect is that the Oryxos, like aliens in many theories, do not have a fixed physical form. They are described as energies, forces, or archetypes that can take on different forms depending on the context or need. This aligns with the idea that extraterrestrials could be multidimensional entities. Want to know more about these intriguing theories and the mysteries of the universe? Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and don't miss the next videos that will reveal even more hidden secrets. Long before any modern telescope was invented. If the Dogon have such precise information about the cosmos, who taught them this? Could it be that the Oryxos or other similar entities were capable of channeling this extraterrestrial knowledge to ancient cultures? Another intriguing challenge is the presence of alien-like symbols and figures in historical artifacts from various cultures. In Africa, for example, some ritual masks and sculptures have characteristics that exist in a form of pure energy, not necessarily in a physical body as we understand it. Could it be that when humans invoke the Oryxos, they are connecting with these cosmic entities that exist beyond time and space? Ancient civilizations were also masters of reading the skies. They studied the stars and believed that the gods came from there. This is no different from the belief in astrology or the cosmic influences that resemble extraterrestrial figures, elongated heads, large eyes, and shapes that do not resemble common human beings. Could these be representations of interdimensional or alien beings who visited our planet? Or were these ancient cultures interpreting these entities based on direct experiences with visitors from other planets? And here comes the final challenge. How do we reconcile all of this with modern spirituality? Still present in many cultures today, the ancient Egyptians, for example, believed their gods came from the star Sirius, and the Dogons, a tribe in West Africa, have a similar story. They believed that amphibious beings, the Nomos, came from an invisible star in the Sirius system, bringing knowledge and wisdom to humanity. In the same way, the Oryxos are described as forces that come from realms beyond our own, connected to the stars and the cosmos. If this connection to space is more than those who follow the Oryxos as part of their religious practice, the idea that these gods are in fact extraterrestrials might be unsettling. After all, the Oryxos are seen as spiritual guides who help, protect, and sometimes test humans. But if they came from other planets, this would completely change how we interpret their actions and influences in the human world. The Oryxos. But he could very well be the link between humanity and civilizations far beyond what we can imagine. Exu, with his many facets, can be seen as the cosmic diplomat. He not only travels between worlds, but also masters the energies of transformation and chaos. When we look at theories about interdimensional travel or wormholes, Exu could be a spiritual representation of this advanced science, where extraterrestrial beings have the ability to move rapidly across vast distances. The truth that the Oryxos could be extraterrestrial beings might be disturbing. After all, the Oryxos are seen as spiritual guides who help, protect, and punish when necessary. But if they came from other planets, this would completely change how we interpret their actions and influences in the human world. The challenge here is embracing this new perspective without losing sight of the spiritual connection that the Oryxos provide for millions of people. The cosmos. He would open portals to other worlds, allowing alien civilizations to influence, guide, and perhaps even test humanity. What do these entities want to teach us? Are we ready to hear their messages through Exu? Now, consider the idea that Exu's role in spirituality is very similar to the concept of aliens as silent observers, interfering only when necessary, moving in the shadows and on the margins of human. This question leaves us in uncertain territory. Are we ready to accept that our spirituality, deeply rooted in cultural and mythological traditions, is interconnected with influences from other planets? And what would this mean for our understanding of faith, religion, and human history? These are questions that challenge both believers and skeptics, and this is precisely what makes this discussion about the possible connection between the Oryxas and extraterrestrial beings so fascinating. The elements that, in many conspiracy theories, are seen as portals to other dimensions. What does this mean? That the Oryxas could be the guardians of these portals. Oxum, associated with fresh waters, and Yemenja, with salt water, control forces that are often described in UFO sightings. Many stories speak of mysterious lights over bodies of water, of ships emerging from the seas or disappearing into the depths of the oceans. Could these waters be entrances to dimensions that the Oryxas have